Welcome back to Eve Echoes Radio. Before we get into the show, we've been told that some people aren't as big a fan of the music we play as others. This is our music-free broadcast, so if you're interested in listening to the show with the intended music, click the link on the video right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Eve Echoes Radio. This is Frankie from Jersey. We're doing our 12th broadcast, which is wonderful. So welcome back to Eve Echoes Radio, eveechoesradio.com. Today, we're going to talk about the most recent update, a lot of community news, some corporation news, and we have a few advertisements. But first, strap yourselves in and listen to some great music. Maintenance ran a little over for us, granting us an extra hour or so of free SB, so that's not a horrible thing. A number of things have been changed and shifted around more than usual for the weekly maintenance. The event page is fully uploaded and updated to look more modern and pretty. They also have made it so every single time you open the game, that now thrusts it into your face. Annoying. Yet another stopping point before we can sign back in fully. It's growing to be a pain. Maybe in 6 months we'll look wistfully back on this ease of log on. In addition, the overview customization now has the option to see those with an active criminal timer. Further game engine performance, and finally the skill training timer has been changed to show days instead of ridiculous sums of hours. After all, it's much easier to parse 13 days 12 hours over 324 hours, which was really getting annoying to me. But no maintenance is complete without some new crippling bug. Apparently now tracking computers do nothing when they're activated. I don't get how these bugs work or how they relate to each other. Somehow that has broken the tracking computers now. Great. Should be fixed by the next maintenance, though. Possibly. Probably. Maybe. The 28th brings a big update. We are getting all of those fancy new modules as well as a Halloween event. The Halloween event is called the Crimson Harvest and will last from October 31st to November 10th. This will consist of special anomalies that will spawn throughout New Eden, with low-level and high-level festive anomalies posed to provide a sense of holiday cheer. These will be all over the place, with a 20% chance that a special anomaly will spawn every hour in any given system. This will also come with new loot in the shape of haunted supply boxes. That will be the only way to get the brand new modules, as well as a number of permanent Halloween skins for this event. I've seen the skins, they are pretty awesome and pretty fluorescent. Honestly, this is a great step for NetEase to take. It allows everybody to cool down and do something fun and festive before the doom and gloom of the bubble menace and PvE really changes and really sink in by the 11th of November. So they opened this test server. Another key part of the maintenance was this addition of a test server. And that's right, clicking that little button in the top left part of the sign-in page will take you to a server identical to the main one, except for all the differences. On this test server, the devs have pushed a bunch of new changes that are coming to the main server soon. From various nerfs to buffs to ships and modules, to letting players test out new modules with varying degrees of success, to showing the terrifying new systems that is the dynamic pirate fleet. And that is right, we have seen it on the roadmap, but the devs were never very good at explaining what they intended it to be. But now we know. All the story missions and special anomalies just got ridiculously harder with these updates. According to the devs, this should make the pirates more like fighting players. But when was the last time you saw a player cruiser move at 4,000 kilometers a second with full E-War suites running on you at all times? Every NPC has a scrambler or other E-War mod, and they're always on. We project that this will be a massive blow to the game's economy if it comes out even close to being similar. Spikes in all faction loot and etc. will be insane if these changes are even half as prominent. Onto the video contests. The video contest has gotten a bit of a shakeup, with Nilfgaard actually being overtaken in less than a week by Perry Jenkins' entry, which hit 16k views, which is really strange considering the absolute lack of interaction with the video. It has less than 100 interactions, 38 of which are thumbs down, and 32 comments. That's a ridiculously low amount of interaction for the numbers of views. This has obviously brought on accusations of cheating and buying views, which we can't comment on either way. But it does seem pretty ridiculous that this one fairly low quality video has completely outpaced every other video in the contest in such a short amount of time. In other contest news, the mid-range of the contest has gotten much bigger, with 21 corporations now having videos with over 1,000 views. These are all also good to have a good chunk of comments and other activity. And that shows that the community is definitely paying attention to at least some of these groups and corporations. And now we're going to play the next song of the night. This part of our radio broadcast is brought to you by Smeghead Gaming. SHG is an industry-focused corporation with a love for their miners. After all, somebody has to shoot rocks, and SHG wants you to shoot those rocks for them. Their buyback program is phenomenally placed to keep their miners rolling in piles of ISK and having to focus less on dealing with the minutiae of the market. Did you think ore moved fast in Jita? Then you haven't seen the SHG markets. So if you have an overfilled ore hold and aren't looking forward to hauling it somewhere people will actually buy it from you, then sign up with SHG. They make miners so much money that it's almost criminal. Just message Ferratus number 9816 on Discord. That's FERRATUS number 9816 on Discord. This is Eve Echoes Radio on eveechoesradio.com or the Google Play Store app. So, yet another alliance falls into disarray and collapses. While North has started out as the powerhouse in the North to rival the power of Silent Alliance, and while the two duked it out, it does seem like the collapse of North has more to do with an internal conflict over anything else. Some former officials have levied complaints that the leadership was massively corrupt and cared little about the well-being of the Alliance or anything else, but that's all unverified and we can't do much other than comment on it. Many former North corporations have reportedly relocated to Fountain to form up with the Terran Federation to continue hostilities with SHH. Meanwhile, Happy Bees formed up the Pantheon Coalition to force PIBC out of the region. This coalition has formed up with 200 plus pilots and has taken a PIBC station down to its armor, with a plan to take it out completely over the weekend. Meanwhile, we have another reported station kill in the Wildlands by Golden Horde, but we don't have a lot of information about this beyond the kill itself. So, if you have any information about things like this, you could join the ANN Discord or message us through our News Bounty program. Now we're going to play the next song of the night. Allied News Network is a brand new news conglomerate that has been formed by the esteemed Revdeuce. We here at Eve Echoes Radio have been invited in, and so have many other news broadcasters you might listen to, from Sovereign RPG to Damon Zell, along with many others. This group has been established to help collate and fact-check information for the benefit of all our audiences. And if you would like help in this endeavor, then you can check out the Discord. It has several news reporting channels for you to submit information you found or participated in. In addition, if you're an Alliance leader and want a place to send your dossiers and news releases, then this is definitely a place for you. Come on in, and our team of reporters will be happy to listen to your information and figure out how to best represent that information in our shows. And the EER contest, we do this every week for 10 million ISK. If you're listening right now and God knows you probably aren't, so I'm going to break the rule. If you DM me on Discord this secret phrase anytime in the next 24 hours and you're the first one to do it, you will get 10 million ISK contracted right into your account. And the secret phrase is, or broken parts. That contest secret phrase, DM Frankie on Discord and say, or broken parts. Do you have a cool story about your experiences in the game? Do you know something about interesting ops hiding under our noses? Do you know about massive fleet battles that have gone unreported? And do you want to get some easy ISK for a bit of information and an interview? As mentioned earlier, just contact us at EER News and see if your story is worth a news bounty above the 10 million ISK. That is separate from the contest. And you are listening to Eve Echoes Radio, and this is EveEchoesRadio.com. And I would like to talk about something very interesting. You want to get more PvP experience, but you're not sure where to start? Are there too many blues and not enough targets while you're roaming for PvP content? Well, look no further, because we are excited to advertise a new community event called the Flight Club, a new player-run event where everyone is welcome. It'll have a weekly PvP events with varying formats, and these are usually themed NPSIs or not purple shoot at fleet roams. Remember, the first rule of Flight Club is tell everyone about Flight Club. The second rule of Flight Club is if you're new, you have to fight. The second Flight Club event will be this Saturday at 2100 UTC in Aden in the Molten Forge. That's Aeddin, down in the Molten Forge. Bring frigates or cruisers and be ready for a Echoes from the Void. Where they have gone, only echoes remain. This Nullsec Corporation is focused on helping their pilots improve themselves. Any career path is approved by the leadership, but they are primarily combat focused. Industrialists are supported by an ore buyback program for supporting their corporation fleets, which are manned by excellent fleet commanders that are ready to arm their combat pilots. Pilots of all skill levels are welcome, as I have a broad group of veteran pilots willing to provide guidance to newer pilots. They speak English and French, with a constant leadership presence on the communication channels. They strive to be the strongest corporation they can be, while also promoting a family type of atmosphere. If this sounds good to you, then contact Ancient Khan, number 3714 on Discord. That's Ancient_Khan, number 371 score, ANCIENT_KHAN, number 3714. Get a hold of him on Discord and hit him up. Small Dead Space autocannons have gone up a bit more in price, increasing 3 million to an average of 17 million per after last weekend's massive crash. This still leaves the prices at 11 million below where they were last Friday. Dead Space medium autocannons went up a whole million per to 6 million. This marks a bit of an increase in both categories that we haven't seen in a few weeks. This might be in response to the crazy new PvE mechanics being shown off in the test server, but it's hard to say. And in the ore market, over the last week, Hedbergite value has stabilized with a nice average of 700 ISK per. Crocite has gone up 100 ISK with prices remaining up to 1700 per ore. And Bastat has continued to its roller coaster of value, raising back up to an average of 2,000 per ore. Maybe somebody just had a big mining expedition last weekend. I don't know. Arcanor has fallen again to 2,000 ISK on average, a far cry from the 2,450 it priced last Friday. Finally, Mercoxit has stabilized as well, with the price only a little higher than Monday's 1,700 average at 1,800 per. This has actually been one of the most stable ore market reports we've seen in a long time. It is interesting to see these prices as they start to really level out, and I can't wait to see how this continues to develop. Also, Plex hasn't moved more than the slightest amount, with the price only 10K up from the 360K we were seeing on Monday. It now commands an average of 371K per Plex, which means that basic Omega commands a price somewhere north of 60 million ISK. And that may sound like a lot to some people, but anybody playing the game semi-often should be able to grind at least that much in a day. 2 days, 3 days max. Buddy, hey, you've been listening to Evaco's radio news, and I have some kind of saddening news to give you guys. Well, it's not saddening, it's saddening for me. It's terrifying for me. Because due to a surgical procedure, a big dental one, Evaco's radio will not be regularly broadcasting again for a week to 3 weeks, depending on my recovery time. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm going to try and get back on the air and doing my thing as soon as I can. I'm Travis from Fallout, apparently. So, our other news broadcasters, while we're on hiatus, if you'd like more updates on topics that we might not have covered yet, and you want to get some more news from other people, then we have a few YouTube channels we'd like to point you to. First up, we got the Allied News Network, or ANN. That's the news conglomerate headed by Revdeuce, with the goals of bringing a common thread of veracity and quality to the New Eden news sphere. Check them out by looking at Revdeuce's channel. Also, The Kerensky Show is an irreverent look at the politics of Eve Echoes. They do live streams on various topics to do with the meta commentary and stringent politics that surround the game. And then there's the Echoes from the Front, EFTF, which is a part of ANN, and it's run by Damon Zell. They air a weekly news roundup that takes a deep dive into highlights of the previous week. There's also Pristine Frog. You can check him out. He's cool too. We'll see you at the next broadcast, whenever that may be. Now I'm going to send you back that big auto DJ that isn't as big as I thought it was. I'm going to